Hello, this is DrPaulCottrell, and I'm going to be talking about a video that Israel released dealing with chemical weapon documentation that was found on some of the terrorists. From my understanding, it's from the first night of the invasion, between the war between Israel and Hamas. The documents seem that the instructions would create the chemical weapon. The problem that I have is the link, the loose link that they're trying to tie between Hamas and Al-Qaeda. And this is just so reminiscent of weapons of mass destruction when we were going into Iraq, right? And Powell showing the powder that was at the UN, right? I just, we got to be very skeptical on this, all right? But it is very possible that unconventional means, I've been saying this for a while, but I've been talking about it, unconventional means from the Israeli side. But we got to keep in mind that we may be dealing with unconventional warfare in the Israel-Hamas war, and if it becomes a more wider war with Iran, there may be tactical nukes that are used. So it's not off the table, chemical, biological, radiological weapons. So, but we got to be skeptical. So let's play the video and let's talk about it, right? I'm not sure how the Israeli government really works, but this is the Israeli president, while Benjamin Netanyahu is the Israeli prime minister. So I don't know where president and prime minister lie with this. I don't understand their governance.
Which was found on the body of one of those sadistic villains. It's Al-Qaeda material, official Al-Qaeda material. We're dealing with ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Hamas. This is what we're dealing with. And in this material, there are instructions how to produce chemical weapons. It speaks about arson, and it speaks about various chemicals that come out and produce chemical weapons. Simple as that.
The severing of medical supplies and electricity is having an incredibly profound effect.
But it's not severing.
It's having a very profound effect on the ability for those hospitals.
But that's part of the distorted information. It was Hamas missiles which broke down the electricity infrastructure in Gaza. Nothing to do with us. Water, we supply only 7% of the water. It's Hamas operation. There is fuel for the humanitarian need. It's under UNRWA. We are following very closely the humanitarian situation on the hour. Most of Gaza is functioning. There are areas that are under battle. This is a real tragedy, but how does the world work? How does the world cope?
We can't say Gaza's functioning.
How does the world cope? First of all, a lot of distorted information comes out of Gaza.
No, but we do have a team on the ground.
So
we do trust, and we can't say that Gaza is a functioning territory.
But the problem is, of course, that part of the infrastructure and part of the aid is hijacked by Hamas. That's the issue. Guys, it's very easy to blame Israel. Let's just remember where we were, what happened, and how we have the right to defend ourselves when a missile that flies 250 kilometers straight into Israel comes from people's living room. That's the situation we're faced with. No other nation is faced with that. And had any nation been faced with that, believe me, they would have attacked the same.
Well, Alistair joins me now live from Jerusalem. Ali, how significant is this revelation about chemical weapons?
Well, the Israeli President Isaac Herzog sits above party politics in Israel. He's not a member of the war cabinet, for example, and over this past year with the controversy over judicial reforms, he's been pretty critical of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But this was evidence, he says, that instructions on how to build a chemical weapon were found on the bodies of Hamas fighters discovered in Kibbutz Be'eri, which was one of the worst hit kibbutz near the Gaza border. We cannot verify those claims ourselves, although I have put them to chemical weapons experts that I know, and some of them have said that in terms of if these ingredients were put together to make a chemical weapon, then it could make a viable chemical weapon. Whether or not this proves any kind of link between Hamas and Al Qaeda or Hamas and Islamic State, I would be skeptical on that because of some of the documents we've seen don't necessarily prove that. But what it does in the Israeli eyes show is, again, just what sort of intent the Hamas fighters had when they came over that border. And it takes what they did potentially a step further, a step into what could have been a very, very dangerous situation. What they did do is they massacred and murdered many Israelis and other nationalities, and they took a lot of them hostages in the biggest terrorist attack this country has ever seen, and in the most grim and macabre fashion. But this would be, a significant escalation in what we knew so far, in so much that if their intent or their desire was to try and build chemical weapons at some stage, well, that puts a whole new detail, a whole new slant on what Hamas had been planning for some time. So as I say, we, the Sky News, can't independently verify these, but President Isaac Herzog positions himself as an international statesman. He generally rises above Israeli politics, and he's presented these documents to us and shown them to us in that interview that you saw.
Ali, it also speaks, I wonder, because it raises in a way at this point almost more questions than it answers, this allegation from the Israeli president. And I wonder what you make of this time lag that there inevitably is between a piece of information like this being offered up and the ability of journalists like us to be able to prove or disprove it, and the harnessing of that information by both sides in what has become a very binary conflict.
Well, on one hand, I would say that there is a lot of work still going on. It might seem as though it was some time ago since these attacks happened, more than 2 weeks now. But take it from me, there's a lot of work still going on in those kibbutz, those villages, those towns, to still uncover what happened. They are still trying to identify bodies. They think there are some bodies they might never be able to fully identify. They are still finding an awful lot of information as to what went on 2 weeks ago. So in one respect, I think it's entirely plausible that these documents have only recently come to light. But yes, this is a war. This is a war between Israel and Hamas. And in any war, there is an element of a propaganda war. Now, that is not for a moment to say that what President Herzog has shown us is not true, is not accurate. But Israel is preparing for the next stage in this war, and that next stage could be a ground invasion. And a ground invasion has the potential to open up new, very deadly, very violent fronts around this region, whether it's Lebanon, whether it's the West Bank, Iraq, Syria, elsewhere. And what Israel needs to do is it needs to keep reminding people of the horrors that the country went through 2 weeks ago. And
what he just said is an important piece. The deployment of chemical weapons from Hamas probably would not be as viable as, let's say, another country doing it. It would be small scale. It probably would be very localized. Maybe they had access to a water supply and then poison the water supply. But tipping rockets with chemical weapons, it would be, and it getting through the Iron Dome, hitting a location that's high density, and then the disbursement of the chemical weapons. I don't think it's really a viable method from the Hamas side. Yes, chemical weapons are a viable option you know, with more mechanized military countries. But what could happen is booby traps. What could happen is not the gassing of the tunnels by the Israelis to clear them out, but as Israelis are going into the tunnels, they may be gassed, which elevates this thing to another level. And then I did a video talking about what type of method should the Israelis use to clear out the tunnels? You know, flamethrowers, chemical weapons, biologics, water, flushing, hand to hand, pistol to pistol kind of combat. And probably a lot of people are thinking water is probably the best way to go. But just imagine as you're trying to clear out those tunnels and you put your soldiers in there, since the Israelis put their soldiers in there, and then there is a counterattack by Hamas to actually gas the tunnel system. So I said in the video that if Israel used the chemical weapons in the tunnel, that it would not bode well for them in the media because of just the historical context of World War II. And it would be, if they're trying to win the media war, then Israel would lose a lot of support if they use chemical weapons in the tunnels. But the flip side is that if Hamas used chemical weapons while they were clearing out the tunnels, well, Israel was clearing out the tunnels, and Israel started having casualties because of gassing, then that's another situation where the media war would side with the Israelis. Now, what's interesting, and I should play it if I can find it, Bush's speech, you know, Bush Jr.'s speech about this whole thing. I mean, it's the simplicity that crystallizes very, very, very clearly. But chemical weapons and biologics are not off the table. You know, it is not out of the realm of possibility that they're going to be used in this war. If Hamas can make chemical weapons, Hamas has the infrastructure to do biologics. You know, it could be, you know, there's kind of different types of biologics. There's dirty biologics. You know, I've heard of dirty nuclear weapon type, you know, where it's just radioactive material and you explode the radioactive material. So there's dirty bombs, right? But there's also dirty biologics. Dirty biologics is just medical waste that is exploded. You know, not as targeted like bacterial, viral, some sort of bacterial viral pathogen. So, you know, this is getting a little, it's strange. It's getting a little worrisome. Another thing that I think is starting to pop up, and you probably are noticing in people's publications on YouTube or on X, a very similar theme. I have been telling people behind the scenes that there was a darkness that seemed to be hovering. And that darkness was happening between the 1st of August all the way through November 30th this year. And that was more on kind of like my immediate circle. Myself and, you know, the people that I know, you know, there was this immediate circle of this darkness. And that some bad things may be happening, or inconvenient things may be happening in one's life. Then after 11:30, this darkness is going to extend to the wider world, and I didn't know exactly what it meant. So there is this, August, September, October, November. So you have 4 months. And sometimes, over a 4-month period, the next 15 days, there's an event that might take place. So the numbers that I'm seeing, and again, I don't have any empirical evidence on this, but the numbers that keep on popping up in my head are 12/15, 2023 and 11/30, 2023. I don't know why, but those things just keep on popping in my head. Now, the ones that don't know, when my brother died, I had several dreams, close to 30 of them, that I kept on seeing a countdown. It was like 9/8. I was at a trading station in the dream, and I was seeing a countdown in the corner of the screen. And my mother at the time, wasn't well. This is in 2010, and I was under a lot of stress, and I thought that perhaps my mother was going to pass away. I never thought it would have been my brother. And it just kept on happening, night after night after night. Same countdown, same color of the screen, same kind of scenario. This thing happened like 30 times. Now, I do not have a repeated dream of this issue of the 11:30 and the 12:15. But I have this really bad feeling. Really bad feeling. So it's a little different. Now, Cliff High is, talking about some sort of event that's potentially taking place. There are other people that are seeing certain dates that are really ominous. August 2024 is another ominous date or month. Are we moving towards some sort of nuclear situation, nuclear detonation? Are we moving towards World War III? Something doesn't feel right. There's something bigger going on. I don't have any empirical evidence to point my finger and say here. There are like these moments of clarity, and then all of a sudden it drifts away. So it's hard, but there's just these dates just keep on. I don't know why. But other people are feeling something similar. That's the weird part about this. Forget about what I'm thinking. There are other people that are seeing something similar. So what is going on? Now, again, there are people that are more sensitive than others. And, the sensitive ones, the ones that, that get the signal, are it's telling us something, but it's very hard to understand what it is. Now, going back to the chemical documentation that was found on some of the terrorists, I am skeptical about this because of what happened in the United States when we went into the Iraq War right after 9/11. It was weapons of mass destruction. There was no, and they said they had proof, and there was no proof. They never found any proof. The viability to cause mass casualties at the civilian level with this chemical weapon, I don't think they have a delivery system. Hamas has a really good delivery system to really be effective. Do they have a delivery system? Yes. Or could they develop a delivery system? Yes. But would it be effective? I don't think so. In terms of counteroffensive in the tunnels, it might be very effective. And I think this is where, you start using unconventional means by Hamas, then it ups the ante for Israel to start using unconventional means. This is why it's so important to go into Gaza and totally level it, to get the job done, destroy those tunnels. They have to be just absolutely, completely destroyed, filled up with concrete or whatever, but they cannot be ever functional again. And if it means leveling all of Gaza, so be it. The Palestinian people knew this was happening over the years and didn't do a damn thing about it, or did very little about it. So, even though Israel is targeting Hamas, the Palestinians could have targeted Hamas also and prevented this sort of thing from escalating. They didn't do that. Level Hamas. There's going to be a lot of collateral damage. There's going to be a lot of death on both sides, the Israeli side for the IDF and for Hamas, but there's also going to be collateral damage on the civilian side. It's going to be more on the Palestinian. There's going to be more of a body count for the Palestinians than for the Israelis. But, the thing is that this has got to stop. And this is not going to stop if a peace agreement in this stage of the war happens. All that does is prevent civilian casualties in the short term. But in the long term, the escalation is going to, the pressure of this conflict is going to continue to grow, and it will become more deadly over time. It's better to get it done now. That's my stance on this. I am skeptical on what's his name? What was his name? I think his name is Herzog, or something like that. This Israeli president. But it is very possible that Hamas has the means, to do this, to make this stuff. I think it would be on a defensive front, not on an offensive front for Hamas, which was not what I was thinking in my first video about unconventional warfare in the tunnels. I wasn't thinking that Hamas was going to be using unconventional means, and I should have been thinking that when I did the video. So that's a little bit of a nuance and an add-on to the previous video I did about this subject. I am surprised that Israel has not gone in yet. Part of it is because, well, we had the United States president, go to Israel and show support, and try to free hostages and stuff. I heard that U.S. hostages were going to be released. I don't know if they are released yet, as at the time of this video recording. Then there's other presidents coming in to try to de-escalate the situation. The thing is, Israel needs to go in and get the job done. And this international diplomacy is only going to kick the can down the road, and it's going to make it worse. Get the job done. Don't be half-hearted, and just deal with the casualties as they start to pile up. Because in the long run, it's going to be a lot better to go through it now than to go through it later. There is a plausible how should I say this? There is a plausible understanding when we dropped the bomb in Japan, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Forget about the idea that the United States was trying to end the war really quick and prevent US casualties as we invaded Japan, which would probably be pretty high. But, you know, let's just forget about that concept. The concept of dropping the bomb with a low yield in relative terms compared to the weapons that were developed in the 50s and the 60s. Dropping a low yield in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, while the populations were relatively still, even though they were urban centers, the population density was lower compared to the 50s and the 60s. More carnage. Without dropping the bomb, people would not know about radiation poisoning. Radiation poisoning came out of the casualties of Hiroshima, and understanding what the long-term, you know, short-term and long-term effects of this were, and the radiation sickness. So there was information, even though there was deaths that came about, there was information that was learned from this about the atrocities of nuclear war and the long-term effects of nuclear war with a lower population, affecting a smaller population. If we didn't know that, it would have been very possible that when North and South Korea, when that war was happening, that the United States would have used nuclear weapons, and it would have been more deadly because you had higher yields. So the case, what I'm saying is that sometimes it's better to do something in the early days than in the later days when the weapons are more advanced, more powerful, higher yield, population densities are more. If the Israelis now take this knowledge and apply it to the Gaza Strip, with the Gaza Strip, as the populations become more dense, right, and the capabilities of the terrorists become increased, then dealing with the problem will be more difficult, especially when you're dealing with a multiple front war. It's not just Gaza, you know, there's some skirmishes that are taking place in the West Bank. There's increased activity in the northern front. So, you know, we're talking about Iran and Libya, Iran, Syria, and Lebanon. So Iran, Syria, and Lebanon being potential enemies in the northern front. So this can really escalate, and it's not by, you know, the United States is war planning a larger conflict, you know, with us moving our troops into the region. It's not a guarantee that a wider conflict is going to happen, but just imagine if peace does happen at this stage. Let's say a peace agreement happens tomorrow. Rooting out the terrorists out of Gaza, rooting out Hamas and destroying tunnels didn't happen. And they can reconstitute, and then it'll become an even bigger problem as Iran becomes closer and closer to more nuclear weapons. So, and Hezbollah becomes more organized. This, again, take it out now. Do not, the Israelis would be doing a disservice to their country and doing a disservice to their, trying to bring peace to that region in short term. Short term meaning, you know, a few decades. They would be doing a disservice if they did not root out Hamas and destroy the tunnels. So diplomacy has its time and its place, but diplomacy is not its time and place right now. So Israel needs to go all out. They need to, but I am skeptical about this this situation. You know, why would a terrorist that's coming across the border of Israel, killing people, have documentation about chemical weapon, how to make chemical weapons? It makes more sense that you know, that's more internal consumption within Gaza. Why did you have to carry? You know, if you're doing an operation, you carry only the essential items that you need to carry out your mission. It just doesn't seem right. Seems a little bogus, but it might be true. And then the loose affiliation with Al Qaeda. You know, it could be very well that they just downloaded that from, you know, some PDF that they downloaded from some sort of internet site that happened to be a Al Qaeda affiliate website. And they're just, you know, taking lessons learned of what Al Qaeda was doing. And I don't think that there's I don't think there's a connection between Al Qaeda and Hamas. But I do think that these terrorist organizations have been publishing things on the dark web to be able to teach people how to make certain types of weapons, you know, from basic materials. You know, they kind of MacGyver it, you know, kind of MacGyver the weapon development. But, you know, it's going to be lower yield, and the deployment mechanisms, I don't think, are really that efficient. But defensive capability using chemical weapons, very probable in the tunnels. That elevates the risk factors. That's something I didn't really think about in the last video. So that's my take on this latest news in Israel. I'm skeptical. I'm very skeptical about this. But it does increase the risk of the IDF going into the tunnels and what other things that they have to deal with. And if they do go unconventional, if Hamas goes unconventional, then, you know, does the Israelis go unconventional? You know, I don't think the Israelis would, but it's possible. But, you know, you go back and it's biological warfare was designed for this. If they're willing to have high casualties and biological effects on the Palestinians, you know, so that's my take on it. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to all my channels. I have 3 channels on YouTube. So click the link in this video, which is in the description box. So go below the video, click the description box, and you'll see a bunch of links. Click the channel links, subscribe to all 6 channels. I have 3 YouTube channels. I have a Bitchute, Rumble, and Brighteon channel. Please subscribe to all of them. You can support my work by going to my Patreon channel and being a subscriber. That helps support my news coverage. That's a really great way for the international watchers of my work to be able to support me, because I don't ship internationally for my store. I only ship domestically. I only ship within the United States, Hawaii, and Alaska. So I don't ship internationally anymore. But if you're an international viewer and you want to support my work, you can join my Patreon channel and support me that way. Or you can go to my website, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and you will be able to donate at the bottom of the homepage through Stripe or PayPal. You can also donate through Buy Me a Coffee. So there are 4 different ways to support me if you would like to donate. Another way to improve your health and to help support my work is to go to my store. It's the-studio-reykjavik.com, and I have quite a number of products to help improve your health by following a protocol. This protocol is what I call an anti-aging protocol, but the key idea here is that it helps to have these supplements will increase the probability of healing your body, reducing cellular damage and cellular stress, and slowing down the aging process and boosting up your immune system. So there's 3 pillars to this protocol. There's the structural nanosilver pillar, which is to neutralize pathogens. There's the strong antioxidant pillar, which is using C60, which will absorb charged oxygen that causes cellular damage. So by taking the C60, you're neutralizing those reactive oxygen species, and then bringing down inflammation using turmeric and ashwagandha. So when you do that, you'll notice over time that your body is starting to heal, and there's less necrosis in the cells, and you're getting rid of the senescent cells, and you're reducing that stress. You're neutralizing pathogens, so your body doesn't have to fight them, and your immune system starts to go up. Your immune system starts to get stronger, and you will start to get more ATP. You'll start to think more. You'll start to move around more. You'll have more energy, and then you add in stuff like B complex and vitamin C and collagen, and digestive enzymes, and all the products that I have. But there's you can add on to this, but there's this concept of neutralize pathogens, use strong antioxidants, and bring down inflammation, and that takes you pretty far in terms of slowing down the aging process and improving your health if you have some sort of chronic problem. So some of the products that I offer that you can go to the store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. That's the-studio-reykjavik.com. Link is in the description of all my videos. We're in the cold season, right, in the United States, and that starts around October all the way into March, roughly. So get some lozenges. I have in stock right now the sweet menthol. I also carry green apple, and I'm going to be carrying 2 other flavors shortly here. I have lignans, which is a supplement. It's a powdered supplement that I add to my hummus, and this will help with controlling the boosting up the immune system and helping with hormonal health. I also have soaps. So the structural nano silver soap, this one happens to be oatmeal spice, but I also have it in other scents like lavender and peppermint and charcoal tea tree and some others. Silver gel, a great product to neutralize pathogens by just applying this gel on your hands, around your mouth, around your nose, and lightly coating your nostrils and your ears, and you can do it around your eyes, and that will be good for about 5 hours. And you can also use this as a skincare. If you cut yourself, apply this on the cut, and you'll notice that it'll heal faster. In addition, you can apply it on minor burns and scrapes, and even acne. So because what it's doing is it's neutralizing pathogens, so it allows your skin to heal quicker. In addition, you can apply this on your skin. You'll notice it'll at night. You can put it on your whole body, or just on your face and your neck. You'll notice over about a 7-day period that your skin will be clearer, but it will be tighter. The skin will actually end up being tighter, and this is one of the elements, one of the products that are tied to this skincare protocol that I have, which is that you put this on your skin every night, keep it on your skin while you're sleeping. Take 64 ounces of water filtered throughout the day, and take vitamin C, my vitamin C in the morning, and also take the collagen, the powdered collagen. And what you'll notice over about a 30-day period is that your skin is going to be better. What's happening is that this is helping at the topical level, the top of the surface of your skin, right? And the collagen, the vitamin C, and the water will help to build up that dermal layer, the lower part of your skin. And then I have an advanced box where you add in the C60 and the resveratrol. And what that does is that you're reducing stress at the basal layer of your skin. And you're also getting rid of senescent cells. So your skin population actually is younger because senescent cells stop dividing once the telomeres get too short, and you got to get rid of those senescent cells. They just hang around. And as you get older, you'll have more and more senescent cells. So, you're literally having your body, and this is one of the reasons, not the only reason, but this is one of the reasons why as people get older, they get older quicker. It's more of an acceleration curve, especially when you get to about 68 years old, and it advances much faster. But if you keep that senescent level down and you get rid of them, and you get those adult stem cells to kind of help to repopulate the tissue, then what will happen is that because you're dividing, you're stimulating the adult stem cells, you're dividing out. And so those new cells that are coming from the basal layer, right, they are going to have a little bit longer telomere length. So at a telomere length perspective, the tissue is younger because the age of the tissue is based on the telomere length, not the chronological age. So, so this is why some people, when they follow an anti-aging protocol and they take care of themselves by eating properly, proper diet, proper exercise, proper sleep, proper supplementation, when they do that, you'll start seeing that they look younger relative to their peer group that's not doing it. So this is a great product, but you can also use with this the C60, the resveratrol, the collagen, and the vitamin C in drinking 64 ounces of water throughout the day that's filtered. You'll see an improvement of your skin. And you can buy individual products on the store, but you can also go to my curated boxes, and the two curated boxes on my store for the skincare is the beginner's box for the skincare and the advanced box. Now, the difference between the advanced box and the beginner's box is the C60 and the resveratrol. Gives it an extra kick to improve the health of the cell. I have a lot of great products that are made from essential oils. All right. So this product here is a deodorant bar made by Rainbow Herbals. They procure from the Himalayas essential oils that are the main ingredients for these bars. So very high quality. It's kind of like a detox, but you use it every day as a deodorant bar. This one's in citrus. The other one is in peppermint tea tree. And you will, this is a very healthy way to detox, but also use it as a deodorant. There's also an even better bar that Rainbow Herbals makes that I have on my store that is also made from essential oils from the Himalayas. And what that will do is it'll improve your skin. So this is kind of a utility bar, and you can use it for a lot of different things. Some people use it where they're applying it on their skin every day, maybe at night or in the morning or whatever, but they apply it on their skin every day, and they're noticing that the skin health in the applied area is improved. Softer. Now, people have used it for cuts, so it'll help to heal. You'll notice that the ingredients that are in this bar, the everything bar, the even better bar, It used to be called the everything bar, but it's the even better bar. When you apply it on a cut, it will heal quicker. Now, what's amazing about the everything bar is that the even better bar. I keep on mixing those up. The even better bar is that you can apply it on your muscle if it's sore after, let's say, a workout, and the pain goes away. And some people were using it when they were getting inoculated from the pain of the inoculation, but the whole idea here is that it can reduce the pain of an abrasion or a muscle ache or a bug bite. You know, the itch, it reduces that. So it's a great product. It's like it's kind of magical in a way. But these essential oils, because they're such high quality, you have these you have these, and it's just all natural, right? So but you can cut, you can use it for cuts and abrasions and acne and skin, and apply it for your skin every day. You could use it for bug bites, and it's a great bar. It's a great bar. Be amazed. It's someone should have the even better bar in their medicine cabinet, for every house, because it's truly multi-purpose. Then I have a great product. It's the best toothpaste that you'll ever be able to get. It does not have fluoride. It has structural nanosilver, and what this will do is it'll whiten your teeth, freshen your breath, neutralize pathogens, reduce the plaque buildup, reduce that gum inflammation that people have with the gingivitis. But what's really important here is it's neutralizing pathogens at the same time. And this is part of that anti-aging protocol by reducing the pathogen load on your body. So, and when you reduce that plaque buildup and especially the gingivitis, you're reducing the chances of having cardiovascular disease. So this is the best toothpaste that you can buy. So go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and purchase the toothpaste. Get a couple, tubes of toothpaste, and and some other products, and you'd be really amazed in the quality of the products I have. I have very, very, very high quality products. Health Max 35. I have different liquids. This uses the structural nanosilver. I have it in 35 ppms, that's parts per million. I also have it in 14 parts per million, and I also have another liquid product from Amio that is 30 ppms. So, what basically I do is I take the liquid nanosilver, I take a teaspoon of it a day. If I'm not feeling well, I'll take a tablespoon of it a day. If it seems to be getting worse, if I'm not feeling well and it's getting worse, then I'll take 2 tablespoons of this a day. But basically, this, you put it in your mouth, you swish it in your mouth for like 30 seconds, gargle, for 30 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that, and then swallow it. So the whole idea here is that you're neutralizing the pathogens in your mouth, and then deeper in your throat, and then down the esophagus. And by doing that, you're reducing the chances of getting pathogens past the mucosal layer that's protecting this area. If it's somewhat perturbed, if the mucosal layer is weakened, pathogens can get in and get into your system, and they're not being neutralized by the interglobulin A. So IgAs. The IgAs are in the mucosal layer. So, please go and get, some of this. We're going through the cold season, right? And this is a great way to reduce that. Because
And it needs
it neutralizes
to
pathogens.
continue, as any nation would do, to build its case for what comes next. And I think we just need.
Sorry about that. I have a great multivitamin on my store. Add this to the protocol. All right, you need those you need a multivitamin because minerals and vitamins are cofactors to help with cellular processes. So when you don't have enough of them, then your system is slowed down in being able to metabolize certain things. So ashwagandha, this is part of the anti-aging protocol. This controls the blood glucose levels. So, please get this. It's a very important supplement, right? Now, clarity factor. This is a great product to reduce brain fog. A lot of people, because their diet and their exercise is poor, they're not thinking right, and this will allow you to have more clarity. That's why it's called clarity factor, but more clarity while you're thinking. All right. But what's great about this product is that when you start to improve your diet, exercise, supplementation, and you're not drinking regular water, you're drinking filtered water that doesn't have any fluoride in it. What you'll start noticing is that your memory starts to improve and your thinking capacity starts to improve. So I take this twice a day. I take it in the morning and in the late afternoon. Some people just take it in the morning. It just depends on what sort of cognitive load you may have with work or school. But taking it every day, it's getting those neurons firing. Keep those dendritic connections intact and improve them by challenging your mind, and you will maintain memory. You will improve your cognitive function. When we get older, these dendrites usually recede. So the idea is to keep them firing. But to get those neurons to fire, you need ATP. This is where the C60 comes in, because C60 is a very strong antioxidant that helps to improve the mitochondrial health of cells, including neurons. And what will happen is that the ATP will start to increase because the mitochondria, you need lots of mitochondria to get those neurons firing, right? Get those ATPs created to release those neurotransmitters. So when you get older, you have this recession of dendrites and less connection, neural connection, and less firing, less neurotransmitters. And this is part of the aging process over time. Well, if you can keep the dendritic connections and grow them outward, you get more connections and you will be able to think quicker and keep those neurons firing. So this is why clarity factor and C60 is synergistic. C60 improves the mitochondrial health of the cell, including a neuron. And you get those ATPs higher, and then using this, you're helping keep those dendritic connections. So just from neural health point of view, C60 and clarity factor are really great products to improve your clarity. Probiotic, I take this every day with the lignans in my hummus. So I take hummus every afternoon for lunch. So this is in a powder form. I also have a capsule form for probiotic, but this is the powder form, and this is a powder lignans. Helps with the hormonal health and the immune health. And this right here is the probiotic for the gut biome. So I take these. There's a little scooper in each one of these bottles here. You take a little scoop and then you just put it in. I put it in the hummus. I mix it around and I eat it that way. Some people put it in a smoothie. Some people just put it in some water. But taking a probiotic on a regular basis is really important. And then I have the turmeric, and this is this is really important to bring down that inflammation as part of that, the pillars of the anti-aging protocol that I have. So those are some of the products that I have. I have lots of different products. So go to the store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and improve your health. Follow my protocol. Reduce pathogens through structural nanosilver, bring down inflammation, and bring down that reactive oxygen species with strong antioxidants. And take use deodorant bars that are made from the Himalayan essential oils, right? Essential oils that are made from the Himalayas. That's extremely high quality. I can't overemphasize on how high quality the ingredients are in these things. So, and then obviously the best toothpaste that you can get. So, get several of these products and use them on a regular basis, and you're going to improve your health. Some people go, well, I take vitamin C every day and I don't see a change. Well, the thing is it's not just vitamin C. Actually, you would improve your skin health by using that vitamin C with collagen, which I sell, and drink the 64 ounces of water and use the silver gel topically. Use the C60 to bring down the cellular stress because of the reactive oxygen species, and take the resveratrol to get rid of senescent cells, and you'll actually improve your skin. So these are really important. It's not just one thing. It's the whole concept is that there's a synergistic and attacking it from multi-vectors to improve the health. I have vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is not just for calcium absorption, right? It's also gene expression. If you're low on vitamin D3, you don't have gene expression as good. And so the cell's health is not as good. And it just so happens that D3 is needed for apoptosis when the cell needs to apoptose. And how do you get rid of senescent cells? You have to apoptose them. So if you're low on D3, you're probably going to increase your senescent cell level, which is not a good thing. So, you want vitamin D3 as not just to absorb calcium, but also as part of, a gene expression cofactor. And that's another reason why you need to get multivitamins, because these are cofactors for cellular processes and metabolism. You're low on them, you're not going to be as healthy. Now, there's an important distinction here that people need to make. Can you survive? Can you quote survive without higher doses of supplementation or following an anti-aging protocol? Yeah, you can survive, but the whole point here is to slow down the aging process, right? So could you get nutrients just through foods? Yes, but you couldn't eat enough to be able to slow down the aging process. And there is high correlation that higher caloric intake actually makes you age quicker. So, that's why proper diet is in order. Watch your caloric intake. So when these people out there that think, well, I'll just eat all natural and I'll be fine, you'll improve your health for sure, especially if you stay away from the GMO products. And maintain a moderate caloric intake, right? And you try to lose weight, right? Because most people in the United States are overweight, not underweight. When they just focus on just proper diet, yes, that's going to improve your health, but it's not going to slow down aging. Right? And what we're trying to do is actually heal the body, get it to heal and slow down the aging process. Now, if someone was watching their diet, right, compared to their peer group that wasn't watching their diet, those ones that are watching their diet will age slower. But if you compare the one that's watching their diet and doing supplementation, those people are going to age slower than the ones that are just watching their diet, is my point. So this is why it's about proper sleep, proper diet, proper exercise, and proper supplementation. You know, and that not just one thing, but a series of things to help to bring down the stresses that are on your body that are accelerating the aging process. Neutralize pathogens, strong antioxidants, bring down the inflammation. That's the 3 pillars. So go to the store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and see for yourself and how this will improve your health and boost up your immune system. Thank you for listening. And again, please subscribe to all the channels, the 3 channels on YouTube, Bitchute, Rumble, and Brighteon. Thank you for your support and have a nice day.